Truck robbery in a matter of days has police wondering if the two are connected.
Philadelphia police investigating the attempted robbery of an armored vehicle. We're told at least 2 guys were involved.
3 suspects that robbed an armored car this afternoon at a shopping center. This was the scene at Frankfurt and Ashburner Street in Holmesburg. As
news for 2 armed suspects accused of robbing an armored car. Police say the duo got away with hundreds of thousands of dollars. ABC's Olivia Rubin brings us a look at the surveillance video of the brazen heist.
Yo, this SV Twiz, the hood blogger. Y'all know how I carry it. Shout out to everybody that been rocking with the content. I appreciate y'all. If you're new to the channel, hit the sub button, bro. You won't be disappointed. If you're a returning viewer and you ain't hit the sub button yet, stop jerking wreck, bro. Hit that sub button. But let's just get straight into it, man. For those of y'all that see me covered the BRINKS robberies or whatever previously on the channel when it was going down, at that time, man, I had covered the first one, and basically they had robbed the BRINKS truck behind Home Depot down Port Richmond. Now, the main thing I said first, before I even say that, I just have to say that, you know, any youth out there, bro, just stay out the way, man. Get a job, go to college, start a business, build a trade, work the internet. There's millions of ways of getting bread, you know, but at the end of the day, we all know that this type of stuff is going to take place. So I'm not saying it to, you know, try to justify or glorify the situation. But what I did say was, for those guys that made the decision to do that, the first thing that I said, bro, those dudes that did that, y'all need to get away. y'all need to hit Cuba or something like that immediately. That's the problem with people that do choose to, you know, make these decisions and then they want to go all out and go hard. You got that bread and all that. Now what? You gonna ride around in the city and, you know, splurge? They was tripping, bro. They was tripping. You know, obviously, at the end of the day, if y'all didn't hear what happened, you know, it was a string of BRINKS truck robberies in the city. Now, with the first arrest that they got, you know, it was 3 people, I believe, but I'm pretty sure, I know for a fact that one of the guys had just got fired, bro. He just got fired from BRINKS. So they already got it down as an inside job. And, you know, it's not looking too good. They was hitting people's houses. And one of the houses they hit, bro, was on the back block in the middle of North, bro. In the middle of North. They done got over 1.5 million, bro. What is you doing?
Armored truck heist. Authorities say the robbery back in June was an inside job, and today they detailed just how they were able to track down the suspects. Action News reporter Annie McCormick live at Independence Mall with details and new video of one of the arrests. Annie.
Yeah, and Alicia, that's right. The 3 people arrested are all facing charges in connection with the June 21st armored truck heist in Port Richmond. And according to authorities, one of those suspects was a BRINKS employee who has since been fired.
This video taken on August 5th shows FBI and Philadelphia police SWAT teams surround a North Philadelphia home. Police say at least 1 arrest was made here in connection to this armored truck heist June 21st in Port Richmond. This BRINKS truck with a lone driver inside was robbed of $2 million, and they robbed the driver's gun. 30-year-old Deshaun Hughes Marchison, Brian Wallace, and Trayvon Jackson, both 31, are all from Philadelphia and were arrested. Investigators say Jackson was a BRINKS employee and this was an inside job.
Where we were able to recover the majority of that money that was taken from the BRINKS truck, along with a number of assets of high dollar amount, and additionally a large number of assault rifles and handguns as well.
This is one of our most formidable partnerships we have. We have officers detailed to the task force here. You know, it's a force multiplier.
2 of the defendants were armed and robbed the driver. A 3rd suspect followed the duo as they fled. Authorities say they connected vehicles used in the heist plus cell phone data to the suspects. The Philadelphia region has seen a slew of armored truck heists in recent months, as recently as yesterday in Cheltenham. We asked if any of them could be connected to this job.
Whether or not they're part of a larger network or ring, that we haven't seen yet, but it doesn't mean that we can definitively rule it out at this point.
mean to tell me that, you know, they hit this Brinks truck, they got over 1.5, and, you know, they went to go buy jewelry, bro, clothes, and of course it's still gonna be bread that, you know, like they said, was put away or whatever. And, you know, 9 times out of 10, between them three, somebody gonna end up telling. It's probably gonna be, most likely, you know, the Brinks truck worker probably is going to definitely end up trying to tell everything, why he did it, how he lined it up and everything. So let's be prepared, because at the end of the day, who's to say that, you know, he wasn't even in cahoots with somebody that was working in them jobs? You know, just the message, bro. You know, you can lose a job. It happens, bro. It get frustrating. But for those that are given an opportunity to have a good job, because Brinks trucks drivers, bro, they make around like 80. Most of them make around like 79,000. I believe, you know, some of them, I guess, depending on what they doing, they can start around 50. But if you look it up, you know, majority of the Brinks trucks drivers in Philly, they getting around like 79,000 a year. So with that being said, if you're a person that is in a position to have a job at one of them joints, you know, it's like everybody need more money, bro, but don't throw it all away, because you really got blessed to have an opportunity, you know, to get that job. And if you got fired, bro, just keep hustling, man. You know, he probably got fired for tucking bread out the trucks from the rip, because Brinks, you know what I'm saying, Brinks trucks drivers, they don't just get fired for nothing, bro. 9 times out of 10, he probably was stealing or doing something goofy while he was on the job. Now, if he was on the job and he felt as though he was going to take money while he was on the job, if he would have took a substantial amount of money over time while he was in the job, he would have got more of a tap on the wrist than, you know, getting fired from the job and then lining them up to, because now you know, you forcefully taking it. Now them charges is going to change. It's people that plenty of times, you know, took money from, whether they worked in banks or here and there, and then they still while they on the job. And, you know, like I said, I'm not trying to justify it, but, you know, it's less punishment. So for him to do that, please believe that they're going to automatically try to tie the string of the other Brinks trucks Johns on him. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, who knows the status of the other 2 guys? One of them guys can tell. Like, it's, you know, for y'all in the streets, man, and y'all riding around with y'all got 15 people with y'all. If y'all think all them people is going to stand tall when it do get dark, bro, they say a smart man learn off his mistakes and a wise man learn off of others. It's damn near nowhere in history where it was a group of people that everybody stood tall. You might can get away with having 2 rappies, 2 co-defenders or something. They might stand tall. You might have 3 or 4 that stand tall. But once you start, you know, the more people you around, the more chances it is that, you know, somebody going to tell, or, you know, try to throw you under the bus, whether it's true or not, just to get themselves out the situation. So at the end of the day, you know, they got these feds out here and they you know what I'm saying, investigating all of these Brinks trucks, John. So, you know, let's just see, you know, how everything play out, man. Crazy, bro. But I knew that it was hot, bro, because after that first one, them Johns just kept happening. And like they said, you know, it's no guarantee on if, you know, they had something to do with it, or the guy that, you know, worked at Brinks had something to do with it. But please believe they're going to do everything in the power to try to jam all them Johns on them. One thing I can say about this situation is, you know, at the end of the day, you know, people can look at it how they want to look at it, but just to weigh it up, bro, if you are going to go hard, you feel like you need to go hard, you know, at least they went for, you know, insurance money and all that, and they really went, you know what I'm saying, on a mission where they could make some real money. You know what I'm saying? They did it like that, but at the end of the day, it's like you got people out here still moving like this.
To identify a pair of robbers in South Philadelphia, police say the suspects targeted 3 victims in a span of 48 hours, getting away with $120 total. Greg, police believe all of these may be connected to the same people.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They believe it is the same 2 people, and there's actually surveillance video of these 2 suspects, and it's very clear surveillance, and that's the reason why police put it out, because they're hoping that the community can help so that they can get this pair off the streets. Carl Cortez can often be found riding his bike through South Philly, but what's alarming to him is a string of armed robberies in the area. And in all the cases, the victims were either walking or on a bike.
I know things can happen anywhere, and I hope that everybody can be able to walk, ride, use public transportation in a safe manner, and I hope that this thing can get squashed soon.
Police releasing this video of the two suspects they believe to be behind 3 armed robberies on the night of July 30th. Authorities say the first incident occurring at around 10 p.m. on the 1500 block of Catherine Street. The suspects, one of whom police say was armed with a handgun, approached a 68-year-old man who was walking and stole $60 from the victim's pocket before fleeing. About an hour later, police believe the same two suspects robbed a 31-year-old man riding his bike on the 1100 block of Ellsworth Street, stealing the cyclist's backpack, which had an iPhone, wallet, and $60 in it. The backpack was later recovered with the iPhone and wallet, but the money was missing. And the last incident, just past midnight on the 1100 block of South Mole Street. Police say one of the suspects approached a 26-year-old man from behind and placed his hand over his mouth, demanding his wallet while holding a handgun. Police say the suspects fled when they discovered no cash in the victim's wallet.
It's definitely worrying. I walk a lot. I walk my dog all the time. I have young kids, so I'm always walking them out and about to the park or to school. And so you definitely can feel a little bit vulnerable.
Police say in all 3 cases, none of the victims were physically hurt, but they are hoping that these images can help them track down the suspects.
We believe it's a crime of opportunity. Like I said, I mean, they're not asking for cell phones, jewelry, or anything like that you would see in a typical robbery. They just want cash. So, and again, like I said, when you watch the video, they're really comfortable in the store, their mannerisms, coming out and looking around. So we definitely believe they're from the area.
As police continue with their search, those living nearby these incidents say they will continue to have a watchful eye.
They done went on 3 jam joints and they didn't even get $200-300. Now, you know, at the end of the day, when when you get booked for those type of situations, yeah, the letter boys most likely not gonna pick it up. But I done, you know what I'm saying, seen situations where people done jam people with BB guns and stuff like that and still go upstate for 5-7 years, 7 to 15 and stuff like that. So if you're gonna be throwing rocks at the prison or whatever, at least go hard, man. But this SV Twiz the Hub blogger, man, let me know what y'all think about it.